Let me tell you a story, a strange one. One that sent shivers down the spines of millions, from the bustling streets of Lagos to the quiet villages nestled in the hills. It happened on a random Tuesday night, a night that etched itself into the digital folklore of our time. The night the god of thunder logged into TikTok. Yes, you heard me right. Sango came to TikTok. It began around 11 p.m., that witching hour when reality blurs and the digital world becomes our primary window to the night. Across living rooms, bedrooms, dormitories, even roadside kiosks, people sat glued to their screens, fingers scrolling endlessly, feeding the beast of boredom. TikTok was alive, filter-heavy lip syncs, dancing aunties, pranksters in university dorms, comedians pushing the edge. The usual noise, but then a pause, a flicker, a glitch. Phones began to stutter, videos froze mid-frame, comment sections scrolled on their own as if guided by invisible hands. It wasn't just one phone, not just one city, not just Nigeria. Across time zones, continents, cultures, the same strange behavior was reported. Screens went black, then lit up with dancing static. Apps opened on their own. Battery icons drained rapidly, only to refill seconds later. Even power banks sparked. Most people blamed the usual suspects. It's just NEPA. Maybe it's the new iOS update. Wahala for who never buy new charger. But deep in the swirling storm of confusion, a single notification blinked its way onto millions of screens. New creator. A real Sango just joined TikTok. A TikTok profile page loads. No followers, no videos, just an ominous presence. Zoom in slowly on the username A Real Sango. The profile picture, a dark silhouette with glowing eyes framed by lightning bolts. The bio reads, stark and unshaken, Alafin of Oyo, god of thunder, back to set things straight. Narrator, whisper, almost reverent. There was no intro video, no first post, no cheeky dance to draw followers in. Just that bio, bold, ancient, timeless, a declaration, not of intent, but of reckoning. At first, the reactions were predictable, tweets flying in. Who dey form Sango on TikTok? Nice. Promo for a new movie. Na Thunder and Clout Part 2. This Sango go dance Zanku or what? Laughter-filled timelines. Influencers posted reaction videos mocking the profile. Skits began appearing. Sango at ShopRite. Sango in traffic shouting at Danfo drivers. Sango with Gen Z slang. But even the laughter felt nervous, because the glitches didn't stop. If anything, they intensified. Another video shows multiple devices in one room crashing at the same time. A woman tries to uninstall TikTok, but her screen freezes and vibrates violently before going black. It was as if something or someone was pressing against the thin veil of the digital realm, something ancient, something watching, and then, without warning, he went live. Most people, myself included, scoffed. A joke, surely, a prank. Some over-ambitious content creator, maybe even an elaborate promo for a new Nollywood epic about the gods. Nothing to fear, nothing to believe. Not in this digital age, where filters make gods out of influencers, and clout is more powerful than truth. But then he went live. Music intensifies. A deep, humming build-up, mixed with the crackle of fire and a rolling thunderclap. Real Sango is live now. At first, the screen was chaos. Pixelated lines, glitches, a distorted frame trembling with static. But slowly it began to stabilize, and what emerged from that storm of data was not of this world. The live feed cleared, and millions stared, wide-eyed, breathless. A throne of obsidian rock and roaring flame sat at the center of a vast, smoky chamber that looked both ancient and endless. The background flickered with dancing shadows, flames licking the air like spirits hungry for recognition. The atmosphere buzzed, not like a bad connection, but like raw, unleashed power. and sitting upon that throne was a figure too real to be fake. Tall, broad-shouldered, bare-chested, his skin shimmered, not with oil, but with an almost celestial luminescence. Dozens of red and white beads draped across his chest like ceremonial armor. His dreadlocks were coiled and crowned in a regal wrap of fire-colored cloth. Eyes glowing, not with a ring light, but with the fury of storms. In his hands, twin axes, Orisha Sango, forged not from metal, but from lightning itself, arcing and pulsing like living things. This wasn't costume, this wasn't digital makeup, this was Sango. More than 5 million viewers. In less than 10 minutes, no hashtags, no shares, no paid promo. Just an unstoppable pull, like the storm calling back its lost children. And then, a sudden silence, broken only by a low rumble that seems to build from the inside out. Then, his voice. Deep, thunderous, echoing with slight digital distortion, as if transmitted through the elements themselves. You praise foreign gods in your movies. Thor, Zeus, Odin. You glorify their might. You sing their praises. But you forget your own. You forget the very soil beneath your feet, the rivers your ancestors bled into, the thunder that once shook these lands. When my name was spoken with fear and respect. The words weren't spoken, they were felt. Every syllable landed like a blow to the chest. People clutched their phones tighter, eyes wide, hearts racing. Some tried to exit the live, but their screens froze. Others tried to comment, but their keyboards locked. It was as if, for a few minutes, the app belonged to him. And then, a flash, a burst, a real one. A bolt of lightning in the real world strikes near Lagos, illuminating the night in ghostly white. Power grids flicker. Generators explode in a neighborhood in Akure. A transformer bursts into flame in Ilorin. People scream, phones fall. This was no video effect. It wasn't CGI. It wasn't just on the screen. Lightning struck across the country. Unconnected, simultaneous, and terrifying. As if the Orisha themselves were reminding us that they do not need hashtags to trend. Phones vibrated, not from notifications, but from resonance, with a power buried deep beneath our cities, our asphalt roads, our forgetful hearts. Sango, final line, softer but heavy with warning. The wind remembers, the rivers have not forgotten, the thunder waits for you to wake. Quiet, breathless, and then the screen went black. No end stream, no outro, just silence. And just like that, chaos. Pure, digitized chaos. The digital realm, once a playground for filters, memes, and dances that lasted all of 48 hours, was now a battleground between belief and disbelief. The Sango challenge exploded like fire on dry grass. Not a day, not an hour. Within minutes, it overtook the algorithm. Videos poured in, millions, maybe tens of millions, some funny, some haunting, and some prophetic. Some still thought it was a joke, a brilliant prank, a cinematic illusion, but the timing was too perfect. As videos of lightning striking rooftops surfaced, as power outages rolled across states like ripples on water, as dogs howled at skies heavy with thunder, even the skeptics began to whisper. Screenshots flash across screen. Unexplained lightning strikes reported across Lagos, Benin, Enugu. Breaking, federal grid stable, but power surges spike in urban areas. Sango, in 2025, experts say it's just a coincidence. But it wasn't just here, it went global. Cut to American TikToker, wide-eyed, pale, hoodie up, clearly filming in the dark. American TikToker, voiceover, terrified whisper. Okay, so I was watching that Sango guy on my phone. It sparked, like real smoke came out. I thought this was some Wakanda promo. What the hell, Africa? Welcome to the diaspora, Ben. A group in Ghana starts a rooftop drum circle, shouting praises into the sky. A Nigerian man tries to delete the app mid-live stream. It freezes. An influencer known for mocking traditional beliefs goes live, trembling, muttering apologies, and suddenly drops off. Screen goes black. It wasn't just a trend anymore. It became a reckoning. Spiritual TikTok, once pushed to the margins, forgotten, priests, hidden rituals, dusty texts, was now front and center. Followers doubled, then tripled, then surged beyond numbers the algorithm could track. Adebayo the herbalist sits in candlelight, face somber, holding a kola nut in his palm like a warning. Adebayo the herbalist, voiceover grave, calm. The Orisha are watching. They have always been watching. Be careful who you mock. Be careful what you forget. People started digging into stories their grandparents told them in passing, into names they once dismissed as backward, into rituals dismissed as fetish nonsense. But now, these things had weight. Now people wanted to remember. The comments scroll, "Grandma, please teach us." "I'm sorry I laughed at you before. This is powerful." And in the midst of it all, rumors began to spread that Sango wasn't the only one. Awake! A single name trends beneath the chaos. "Yosh Oya is coming," narrator whispered shaken. The storm was... The world was watching, and for once it wasn't because a celebrity had misstepped, or because a new filter made your dog look like an anime character. No, this time it was something else, something older, something sacred, something that reached down into the marrow of your bones and asked, "Do you remember who you are?" The morning after Sango's live, there were no more sparks, no lightning, no screaming phones or glitchy screens. Instead, there was silence, a heavy, reverent silence, like the hush before a sacred rite. One video appears, a looped visual, of a forest glowing softly, the camera gliding through it as if led by an invisible spirit. No voice, no face, just nature and words. On-screen text: "Respect your roots. Remember your power. Omo Udua, wake up." Soft, awed. No flames, no thunder, just those 6 words, and yet they shook people deeper than all the spectacle from the night before. "Oh, confessions." Comment 1. "I just apologized to my ancestors." Like for real apologized. Comment 2, voiceover reverent. "This isn't just content, this is a summoning, this is real." Comment 3, voiceover panicked, desperate. "Sango, I beg I de fear, what do we do? What do you want from us?" Comment 4, voiceover Yoruba elder calm and deep. "Ebonikasi aseasetu. Aranori lo sodo baba." Translation: "We must make offerings, we must cleanse, we must send our heads to the elders." Across Nigeria, across the diaspora, a shift had taken root. This wasn't about clout anymore, or going viral. It was about identity, about reverence, about reconnecting with a lineage long buried under concrete and Wi-Fi. People began reaching out, not just online, but to their elders, to their grandmothers who still lit candles on the new moon, to their uncles who whispered prayers before cutting yams, to the guardians of forgotten shrines and forest groves now threatened by urban sprawl, cowries laid carefully on the ground, TikToks showing rituals respectfully explained, the hashtag Waomo Udua rises. The gods, it seemed, were not forgotten. After all, just ignored, muted, buried beneath imported dreams and foreign tongues. But now, their voices, our voices, were rising again. African lady in diaspora, holding up a hand-drawn sign, "My ancestors walked with thunder, so do I." And just as people began to understand, to seek, to honor, that's when the second ripple came. The music shifts. Deeper, more primal. Thunder rumbles again in the distance, but this time softer, controlled, focused, tense, slow build. Because Sango was not the only one watching, and he was not the only one awakening. A new account appears on the For You page. The username, a Winderfoyer. The profile picture, a blur of red and white mid-motion. The bio reads, on-screen text, stylized, feminine, yet fierce. Tempest. Queen of the winds, wife of flame, I am coming. Glitches briefly, then nothing. A blank screen, the username eerie Sango replaced by the cold message, user not found. Calm, haunted, and just like that, he was gone. No dramatic farewell, no final thunderclap, no fire, no wind, no flame. Just silence, the profile erased, the live unavailable. The likes, the comments, the duets vanished. No archives, no digital footprint, not even a cached copy, like he had never existed, like the whole thing had been a shared fever dream. A moment when the line between myth and machine blurred and then snapped, but something was wrong. You could feel it. That week, Lagos slept uneasily. The skies, once heavy with rain, held nothing. The downpours that usually baptized the red earth each afternoon were gone. No lightning, no thunder, just a vacuum, a silence too loud to ignore. The birds flew lower, the dogs howled longer, and the air was thick, not with heat or humidity, but with expectation, like the breath of the gods still lingered in every molecule. People whispered in marketplaces and on Molue buses. Children asked questions their parents could not answer. Even the elders looked up at the sky, uncertain, soft, reflective, steady. Was it a prank, a stunt crafted by masterful hands? A modern myth born from clever coding and viral timing? Maybe. The skeptics say yes. They cling to reason like a lifeboat in rising waters, because the alternative is too big, too ancient, too real. But for many, too many, what happened? That night was no skit. It was a calling, a storm in the soul, a warning. The night Sango came to TikTok. Nigeria remembered its gods, the gods of thunder, wind, fire, and death, of justice, of war, of balance. The Orisha once whispered. Of in stories buried beneath colonial scars and internet noise, spoke, and the world listened. In fear, in awe, and maybe, just maybe, in reverence. Same light, same trees. The wind picks up softly, the screen flickers once, and then goes black. On-screen text, Esin o nifi ayemi sere. Spirits do not play. Games with my life. This is the end. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and drop a comment.